Alright, let's be honest. The best move of every type video has kind of been milked by the Pokemon community, and as much as I wanted to make one of those videos myself, I wouldn't be saying anything that hasn't already been said. No shade to the creators who made those videos. In fact, I watched all of them and thought they were all very interesting, but making another one myself would be quite redundant. So, I'd like to do something a little different, which is to only focus on status moves. And of course, as soon as I started making this video, Jimothy Cool made this exact video, but since I was already like halfway through making it, and Jimothy Cool's video and whole channel is more focused around singles, I think another video from a doubles perspective could still be interesting. So, here's the best status move of every type in VGC doubles. I'd like to establish some rules as to what I'm considering a good status move and what moves I will intentionally be excluding from the discussion. Protect and all protect variants will be excluded because they would probably get the top pick for all types that have them, and I wanted to make the video a little more interesting. Distribution of these moves will not be considered, so I'll be considering how they function in a vacuum, although I will still discuss some Pokemon that get these moves as an example of their practical use. I will be judging the moves by their most up-to-date effects, excluding status moves tied to generational gimmicks like Z moves, and I'll pick one move as the best for each type, with some honorable mentions if it's a highly competitive type. Moves will be judged by how much they benefit the user's teammates, or how much they harm the opponent or opposing side of the field. So those are the rules I'll be going by. Let's get on with the moves. Starting off with Fire, we have a whopping 2 options, since one of them is a Protect variant, which remember I am excluding. So between Will-O-Wisp and Sunny Day, it was a weird choice to make since they accomplish very different things, but I think I gotta go Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is 85% accurate and burns the target. Harsh Sunlight as a field condition is obviously really good, but it is much better set automatically with an ability. Manual Sunsetting is absolutely still viable when used on a prankster mon like Tornadus or Whimsicott, but being able to cripple physical attackers is very valuable too. It also deals 1/16 max HP every turn, which is decent for stalling as an added bonus. The shaky 85% accuracy is definitely an issue, but the payoff of being able to shut down a physical attacker is generally worth it, especially since critical hits do not ignore burn, so it's like the only way to reduce Urshifu's damage output. For Water, we again have very limited options, and it's between Rain Dance and Life Dew for me, so I guess I'll go Life Dew. Like I said with Fire, Rain as a field condition is very strong, but Weather is much better set automatically by an ability than manually by a move, making it in my opinion not as valuable as being able to heal yourself and your ally by 25% HP. Life Dew is great on defensive mons like Sinistra and Clefairy, and it has a niche over things like Side Pollen Puff and Heal Pulse because Life Dew can't be redirected and goes through your ally's Protect, allowing you to heal yourself and your ally while they remain untouched from their Protect. For Grass, it's Spore. Not even close. Being able to put your opponent to sleep with 100% accuracy is busted. Grass has a lot of really good status moves though, so for first honorable mention, I'd probably go with Strength Sap. Strength Sap is 100% accurate and heals the user's HP by an amount equal to the target's effective attack stat and lowers the target's attack by 1 stage. This is great against physical attackers, whose attack stat will be around 150 to 200 at level 50, which means you'll be healing a lot of HP, maybe all the way back to full. Second honorable mention will probably be Leech Seed, as it takes 1/8 HP from your opponent and heals it back to you every turn. For Electric, we have Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is 90% accurate and paralyzes the target. Even after this move and the paralysis status condition was nerfed from Thundurus abusing it in Gen 5, it still remains as the best electric type status move in my opinion. It wasn't that hard of a choice because of how situational and underwhelming a lot of other electric type status moves are, like Electrify, Ion Deluge, Magnet Rise, and Magnetic Flux. Eerie Impulse would probably be my first honorable mention, as harshly lowering special attack has its uses, but being able to cripple your opponent's speed for the rest of the battle unless they somehow have a way of healing is very valuable, and the 1 in 4 possibility that your opponent doesn't get to move at all is a great bonus on top of that. For Psychic, we have a lot of options, the second most status moves after normal, but really no other Psychic type status move even comes close to how much Trick Room completely shifts the way that a game is played. Trick Room reverses the speed order that determines what Pokemon gets to move first for 5 turns, allowing slower Pokemon to move first and faster Pokemon to move last. The main drawback of this move is that it has -7 priority itself, so under normal conditions, the user will always go last, making it susceptible to being taunted, being fake out flinched, or being knocked out before getting the move off. That 5-turn period also includes the turn that the move is set, so it's really only the following 4 turns. Honorable mention to Reflect and Light Screen, which boost your team's defense or special defense for 5 turns, 8 turns with the Light Clay, which can sometimes be the entire length of a battle. For Ice, it's Aurora Veil, another pick that wasn't really that close. Aurora Veil increases the defense and special defense of the user side of the field for 5 turns, with the requirement that it must be snowing for it to be used. Keep in mind that Aurora Veil only needs snow to be up for it to be activated, so if the snow wears off or is replaced while Aurora Veil is still in effect, it will remain in effect for however many turns it has left, which can be extended by the Light Clay. This is literally Light Screen and Reflect in one move, except it needs to be snowing for it to be used. Like Light Screen and Reflect, it can be bypassed by critical hits, the ability Infiltrator, and broken by moves like Brick Break, but the defensive utility it provides is unmatched. First honorable mention would probably be Haze, a move that resets all stat changes on the field, which can ruin stat change reliant strategies like Dondozo Tatsugiri and Muk Smeargle. For Dragon, we have our first signature move, Clangorous Soul. Now if I was doing this list based off of distribution, it would probably be Dragon Dance, but since I'm doing it in a vacuum, it's Clangorous Soul. Clangorous Soul, one of the signature moves of Kommo-o, raises the user's attack, defense, special defense, and speed by 1 stage at the cost of 1/3 of the user's HP. Additionally, this move is a sound-based move, meaning that it can activate Throat Spray for an additional special attack boost. Clangorous Soul is also a dance move, meaning that Oricorio can copy it with its ability Dancer. Now this is not always a good thing, because that Oricorio could be your ally or your opponent, which could give them a free boost, but overall it is mostly beneficial. Now if you just want physical attack and speed, Dragon Dance is probably better, but if you potentially want special attack or want to set up your defenses too at the cost of some HP, Clangorous Soul is better. For Dark, I was pretty easily able to narrow it down to 3 moves, Taunt, Parting Shot, and Nasty Plot, and out of these, I think I gotta go with Taunt. Taunt is 100% accurate and prevents the target from being able to use a status move for 3 turns. That's right, all of these moves that I'm talking about on this list are completely shut down by Taunt for 3 turns. It can deny your opponent from setting up their offense, shutting down your offense, setting up their defense, or shutting down your defense. I can imagine a metagame without moves like Parting Shot or Nasty Plot, but a metagame without Taunt would be significantly different. The Mental Herb would basically be irrelevant, and mons like Amoonguss and Clefairy that like to use status moves have no way of being stopped. For Fairy, it's Geomancy, the signature move of Xerneas, which wasn't really close. Being able to double 3 of your stats in 1 turn from the help of the Power Herb is absurd. Imagine this on Fluttermane. I don't want to. If the Power Herb didn't exist though, this move would not be nearly as good, so for honorable mention, I'd probably go with Decorate, the signature move of Alcremie. Decorate has perfect accuracy and raises the target's attack and special attack by 2 stages, which can double your ally's offense in 1 turn. Decorate is great when using on mons that don't have a great way of setting up themselves, and it's especially good since it can hit through your ally's Protect. For normal, it has a lot of moves to choose from, but it is pretty easily Follow Me. This move redirects all opposing attacks so that they target the user instead of their original targets. There's no move that massively bumps up a Pokemon's competitive viability quite like Follow Me. And no, I'm not counting Sketch or Metronome, so I don't want to see any comments saying, actually Sketch and Metronome can be any move, so they were actually the best moves. Anyway, some honorable mentions would probably go to Shed Tail, Transform, Revival Blessing, Helping Hand, Encore, Belly Drum, and Shell Smash. Normal is completely stacked since it just has so many moves, but none of them compare to the support that Follow Me provides. For Fighting, we have the choice between 2 boosting moves, one that boosts yourself and one that boosts your ally, Victory Dance and Coaching. Between these, I gotta go with Victory Dance. Victory Dance is the signature move of Hisui and Lilligant, and it is essentially just a better Dragon Dance since it not only raises attack and speed, but it also raises defense. Don't get me wrong, coaching is goated since it auto-targets your ally in doubles, meaning that it can't be redirected, and has the property that it works even if your ally protects. The ability to raise speed though is just too valuable, so I'll take Victory Dance over coaching, although coaching is still really good. For flying, it's Tailwind, not even close. The ability to double your speed for 4 turns is just so good, especially when used on a Prankster Mon. It even sees use on non-Prankster Mons like Pelipper, Roaring Moon, and Volcarona. Starting in Gen 8, the speed order in a turn is dynamic, so the speed boost from Tailwind happens immediately. This change, combined with its increased duration from 3 turns to 4 turns in Gen 5, makes Tailwind one of the best, if not the best form of speed control in doubles. Honorable mentions would probably be Roost and Feather Dance. Roost being a solid recovery move with an interesting property of losing your flying type for the rest of the turn, and Feather Dance being a 100% accurate charm variant. For poison, we have Coil. This move raises attack, defense, and accuracy by 1 stage. Normally, moves that increase accuracy are not really worth it, but with Coil, since you're also raising attack and defense, the accuracy increase is just a nice bonus. Accuracy works a little different from the other stat changes, so a +1 accuracy boost results in a 1.3 repeating multiplicative boost, meaning that all moves 75% accurate and higher are increased to 100%. At +2 accuracy, all moves 60% accurate and higher increase to 100%. Toxic would probably be the first honorable mention, but this is much more of a singles move since double battles are just a lot faster paced than singles, so stalling isn't as viable. For ground, we have a bit of an obscure move, Shore Up. Shore Up is the signature move of Palo Sand, and it's a recover variant that heals 2/3 of the user's max HP in Sand and 1/2 HP in all other conditions, unlike the similar moves Synthesis, Morning Sun, and Moonlight that can recover less than 1/2 HP in certain conditions. Since all recovery moves had their PP nerfed to 5 in Gen 9, Shore Up is just a strict upgrade from pretty much all recovery moves like Recover, Slack Off, Synthesis, Morning Sun, Moonlight, Milk Drink, and Soft Boiled. Roost has a unique effect of losing flying type though, giving it a chance to be better at times than Shore Up, but for the most part, Shore Up is the best of these recover variants. For rock, we have Wide Guard. Being able to protect yourself and ally from opposing spread moves is incredibly valuable, especially in high power level formats like Reg G, since a lot of signature moves are spread moves. The Calyrex Riders, Groudon, Terapagos, and all the Genies have signature moves that deal spread damage, with some of them not having great attacking options otherwise, allowing you to completely shut down their main form of offense. In open team sheet formats, just the threat of having Wide Guard can keep your opponent from wanting to click that spread move in the first place. A cool interaction about Wide Guard that's worth mentioning is that it also protects the user from its ally spread move if it's a spread move that hits everyone like Earthquake or Discharge, giving it another use. For Bug, it is surprisingly stacked with good status moves. There's Rage Powder, a slightly worse version of Follow Me, Tail Glow, one of the only moves that raises a stat by 3 stages, and Quiver Dance, the special version of Victory Dance. Out of these, I think I gotta go Tail Glow. Raising a stat by 3 stages is just way too good, and there's a reason that its distribution is extremely limited. Quiver Dance is still really good though, and it would probably be first honorable mention over Rage Powder, since the fact that grass types, overcoat users, and safety goggles holders can ignore it is enough of a reason to make it not the top pick like I did with Follow Me for normal. For Ghost, we have some really niche moves like Grudge, Spite, Confuse Ray, Nightmare, and Trick or Treat, but Destiny Bond is probably the least niche. This is a self-targeting move that makes it so that if the attacker causes the user to faint, the attacker faints along with the user. I don't really feel super strong about this pick since none of these moves are really that great, but Destiny Bond at least sets up for a consistent trade between one of your Pokemon and one of your opponent's Pokemon. First honorable mention would probably be Curse, but Curse is weird to rank since it has a different effect depending on if the user is Ghost type. Lastly, for the Steel type, we have Shift Gear. This move raises the user's attack by 1 stage and speed by 2 stages, making it mostly just a better Dragon Dance, although it does have less PP than Dragon Dance. This is not a signature move, but it does have very limited distribution since it is highly anatomy based, essentially making gears a requirement in the user's design. Iron Defense is probably first honorable mention since a +2 defense boost is solid, but a +1 attack and +2 speed boost is generally more valuable than a +2 defense boost, although it is weird to compare since they are used in very different scenarios. And that's the best status move of every type in VGC doubles. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of my reasonings or feel that I missed any. Thanks for watching.